Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's edition of Strong and Steady. I am Jen. It's Tuesday. The sun is shining, and so let's work out. Let's extend our arms away from our rib cage, and let's relax the shoulders and neck as we begin to draw small circles out away from our rib cage. Nice. Soften through the chest. Good. About 5 to 8 circles in one direction, and then slow down and change directions. Good. And maybe you can focus on making your circles a bit bigger. Nice and slow. Good. Okay, now let's do some backstrokes as we talk about our equipment we need today. As always, I'm seated on a folding chair, which we'll use or not throughout our workout today, as much as you like or are able. And then I have a variety of dumbbells over to my right, some heavier and some lighter. Switch hands. Okay, today's format is a EMOM. That means every minute on the minute. We are going to rotate. Within each minute, we're going to try and do 20 repetitions of whatever the exercise is that I announce. Now, fortunately, you only have to do that one exercise one time. Okay, so that means we're going to go through about 20 different movements today. All right. I'm going to move my chair back out of the way as we start warming up our lower body. So place your hands around your hips, elbows to the back, soften your knees, and then let's begin hinging by sending your fanny toward the back wall, melting your torso down toward the ground in a stable position so that spine as you are upright is the same shape as you are bent over. Ideally, you're stretching through your hamstrings and glutes. Working on a nice breath. Good. All right, let's take one more. You should start feeling good blood flow in that backside. And then we'll begin with our squats. So cross your arms out in front, elbows in parallel to your armpits. Soften those knees, draw the belly button in. And imagine that you're sitting down in the chair. Good, weights in your heels. Good, maybe just 2 more and then we'll get cracking. Okay, so for our first circuit of 4 minutes, so that means 4 different exercises. Then we will pause and then we have a minute. And it's going to be quick. We have like 15 seconds to get ourselves together, and then we're going to do cardio. Okay, so I'm just going to program it in that 15 seconds. Oopsie. Okay. All right, so we're going to start with chair squats. All right, so you can add dumbbells or not, but we're working on rising up and out of the chair, coming to standing and back down. So we're getting through a nice big end range of motion. Bigger than you might ordinarily do if you're doing air squats, which we're going to do later, okay? And we're focusing on trying to do this movement without momentum. All right, then we will move into bent over reverse rows. So keeping those wrists straight, okay? All right, and then after that, we have lateral arm raises, and then elbow squeeze to press. Okay, so I have my dumbbells handy, all right? We have 20 chair squats. Ready, steady, let's go. Exhale as we rise, focusing on keeping our legs in parallel. 2, 3, yeah, and we gotta kind of pick a tempo that moves. 5, there we go. 2, 3. So just be aware, try not to rock. And 5, good, we're right in line with 20 in a minute. 2, dig those heels into the ground. 4, exhale to rise. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, now we're bent over reverse row. 1, 2. We'll get our rest after this one. 4, 5, elbows to the ceiling, nice loose grip. 2, drawing from the back. 4, that's 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep that belly button drawn up to your spine. 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, I got my 20 in. I have a little break. Okay, now we're gonna do a demi squat with a lateral raise. Okay, so we're gonna sit in our demi squat and focus on lateral raises. So not too deeply, we're just gonna add a little bit more of a bend, a little bit of flexion. Sit down in your hips, ready? 1, 2, 3, good. And just extend those arms parallel to your armpits. 5, 6, and torso's nice and still. 8, imagine they're floating up. 10, 10 more. 1, 2, try and stay out of your neck. 4, 5, good. 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Oh, those wings are tired. Okay. Now we have 10 seconds going into our last set here. So 5 seconds, elbow squeeze to press. I'm gonna go ahead and sit so I don't buck in my hips. Ready? Elbows up. Squeeze, open, and press. 2. Keep in and zip the ribs as the arms go overhead. 6, 7. Now, if you feel your head projecting forward, you can squeeze, open, and press with palms facing each other. You don't want your head to project forward. 10. Good. I got 10 more. 1, 2, 3. Good. Burn in your shoulders. 5, 6, 7. 3 more. 8, 9, and 10. Woo! Okay, dumbbells down. Clear out your space. Now we have skaters. Okay, so we need about 6-foot spans. Ready, steady, let's go. 1, all the way across. 2, get into those glutes. 4, 5, get those feet off the ground. 7, 8. Now I like to have my arms elevated, working my shoulders, nice and easy. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, good. 7, you can add a hop. 8, 9, and 10. Nicely done. Good work. Okay. And that is our first 5 minutes of work. Well done. Okay, setting the timer. Get some water. All right. For the next 5 minutes of water, as you guys recover for just a second, we're going to do air squats. So not from the chair. You can add dumbbells if you like. Air squat to lateral leg raise. We're working on balance. Now, we're not going to alternate sides. We'll do whatever you can. 5 on one side, then 5, and alternate as such. Or if you can, get yourself all the way to 10 on one side, focusing on oblique, glute, and balance. Then we have seated press out twists. Now that's something we did last class for the very first time, seated in our chair. Press that single dumbbell out, twist, and we'll just take one twist and then we'll go back and twist the other way, okay? Instead of turning that steering wheel both ways, just in consideration of the time we have. Then we have rainbow dumbbells with our single dumbbell, right? And then we have our semi-squat, demi-squat punches. All right, staying nice and still in our torso as we punch, loading our chest and our shoulders. Okay, so let's get some dumbbells if you want to add a little bit of extra weight to your air squats. Just don't kick the dumbbell with that lateral leg raise, okay? All right, are you ready? Okay, steady, let's go. All right, air squat, center, lateral leg raise. 2, 3, 4, 5. Use that oblique. 6. Now you can use your chair if you need to here. 8, 9, and 10. Now switch. Little raise. 2. Center of gravity shifts over that standing leg. 4. 5. Good. 5 more. 1, 2, 3. Keep that foot in parallel. 4 and 5. Holy moly. Here we go. Right into our seated press outs. Okay. Ready. Dumbbell to the chest. Exhale. Press and twist. Return. Press and twist. 3, 4, 5. So the lata oblique of the bottom hand contracting to draw down. 8, 9, 10. 1. We're not going to make it to 20, are we? 2, 3, 4. All right, that's it. Rise. Whew. Let's take a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rainbow dumbbell. 2, 3. Working through, articulating through your shoulder, using your obliques. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Change directions. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 more. We can finish this one. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Whew. Okay. 3, 2, and 1. Demi squat punches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, my weights are too heavy. Keep it going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Woo! Okay. Now we have a little bit of time to recover. That was good. We got all 4 in. Now we're going to do hydrant side kicks. Okay, so we'll be bent over our chair and we're going to do a hydrant and then kick out. Okay, so we're focusing on glute, oblique, and then a snap of the heel. All right, ready? 10 on one leg, steady, go. Hydrant snap, hydrant snap. 3, 4, 5. Keep those arms straight. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Switch sides. Hydrant snap. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Keep those arms straight. 9 and 10. All right, nicely done. Okay, we got those. The first 3 exercises were really tough to get done in our minute, but we did pretty well with our punches and our side kicks. Get your water break, and then we'll be moving on to our next element, which is our bent over front back punch. Okay, so in this one, we're in a bent over position with arms dangling from our shoulders, and we're front to back. Okay, you got it? Then we have squat to curl to press, so that's a longer movement. All right, and then we have over-overs, over, over, okay? Then we have tricep kickbacks. And then we have lunge to front kick with our cardio. Okay, all right, so we're working continuously up to 20 repetitions as we're able. All right, and any rest we get to keep. Okay, so 20 front back punches are the guys we're starting with. All right, so find your dumbbells. We're gonna be in a solid bent over position. Okay, you ready? Steady, let's go. Swing forward, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, nice and slow, and 10. Okay, hinge yourself back to standing. Okay, squat to curl to press. All right, so we're gonna do air squats, not chair squats, air squats. Okay, and I'm gonna do a hammer curl. All right, focus on core stabilization. Ready? Squat, curl, press. Squat, curl, press. My palms are facing each other throughout. Long breaths, ideally smooth movement. 8, 9, feel the strength of your feet in your mid footbed. 1, 2, yeah, we're not gonna get through 20, that's okay. Next is over-overs. 5, and 6. Good, dumbbells down. Over-overs, hands on hips, ready? Over, over. 3, 4, 5. Palpate your belly button. 8, 9, 10, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Over that imaginary boulder. 8, 9, and 10. Okay, there's our little break. All right, good work. Last element is 20 tricep kickbacks. Okay, so find the dumbbells you want to use for this. 20 is a lot. All right, this is our first, aside from elbow squeeze to press, our first major tricep work. All right, so you ready? Comfortable in your stance, hinge forward, draw the elbows back, and go. 2, think neutral spine, control the weight, 5, 7, 9, and 10. 10 more. 1, 2, don't let it leak into your neck and shoulders. 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good. Okay. Now this last element, let's get ready. We have a lunge to front kick. So we can add a dumbbell on one side if we want. The other side is down on the chair. So I'm to the left of my chair. The chair's on my right hand is down. That means right leg is down. Ready? Step back with the left, up and kick. 2, 3, 4. So we're working through that right hamstring and glute. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Switching sides. Left foot down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got it. Neutral spine. Focus on the glutes. 8, 9, and 10. Okay, good work. All right, now we're just going to position our chair off to the side so it's there for us as we rise up and down off the ground. Get a drink. I'm going to grab my water. Okay. Now we are going to the ground. All right, because there's some good work we can do from the ground still in this format. So remember, we use the seat of our chair to help us down into our half kneel, and then bring our knees together and we're down into tabletop where we want to be. Okay, just practicing those techniques that we want to strengthen in order for us to get up and down off the ground. Okay, so we're gonna start with glute bridges, all right? So that's a nice basis to begin. And then we're gonna go into chest fly from our held bridge. Then we'll do some dumbbell pull through work for our lats. And then we'll start sliding on into some more side lying work. Okay, so we're gonna make our way down to the mat. So whether you wanna plop down with an elbow or whether you want to articulate down is up to you. Okay, and what you're able to do today. All right, but we're starting with a glute bridge, and not in the Pilates traditional sense of articulating. We are doing it in the strengthening the glutes sense, okay? But our setup is somewhat the same. So we have our legs in parallel and our feet as well. So our feet aren't together, our knees are not kissing, our feet aren't out with our knees collapsing. Nice parallel lines, all right? And I've added a dumbbell onto my hips, all right? Because I wanna load my glutes just a little bit more. So I added this dumbbell right at my hips. I'm holding onto it with my 2 hands. Okay, all right, now, I'm not gonna focus on pressing my toes into the mat. I'm gonna focus on my heels, all right? And I'm gonna drop my belly button toward my spine, okay? Everything else is relaxed into the mat, all right? And as I lift my hips, I'm exhaling. So exhale, dig the heels, 1, lower, 2, not all the way down, 3, just think lengthen, contract, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I want you to think mostly with the muscles you want to be using, right? So you're thinking hamstrings and glutes. 2, 3. I also want you to think about keeping your legs in parallel so that those knees are staying pointed forward. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Now, hopefully you're feeling good blood flow in those glutes. Now we're going to work into a bridge, a chest fly. Now, bring your dumbbells close. We have 20 of these guys. I'm going to lower them onto our chest. So the safest way to go about doing it is cross over to the opposite side and drag that dumbbell up onto your chest. All right, find that neutral position with your legs so they are not collapsing, but they remain in parallel. And then exhale as you go into your bridge with your hips. And then exhale again as you lift those weights over your chest, round the elbows. And we have 20 flies, but our hips are staying up, not moving. Ready? Inhale and exhale, open. 1, 2. Now you have enough repetitions here, hopefully, ideally, to focus on lengthening and contracting through the chest. 7, 8, 9, and 10. So really squeeze. 1, 2, 3. Good. Check in with your hips. Focus on your hamstrings and glutes. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now lower the dumbbells slowly to your chest. Slowly lower your hips. Okay, and then lower one dumbbell off to the side. And now we have pull-throughs. Okay, so pull-throughs are traditionally done where your dumbbell is tall, all right? So you're not grabbing it by the ears, you're grabbing it by the middle. But in the interests of Pilates, I'm gonna have you grab it by the ears, okay? And we're gonna do this more as a mechanism for uniting our weight training with our Pilates practice. Okay, so we have the dumbbell by the ears, and we're gonna exhale and elevate it right above our chest, okay? It shouldn't be in your eye line, it should be below, all right? So right around your rib cage, right below your sternum, actually, so lower than your chest, right? Okay, so that's where it's at. Now, I want you to settle into your shoulder blades, imprinting it to the mat, okay? And then I want you to feel the strength in your armpits. Okay, as we contract through our lats, we can draw the dumbbell down toward our hips. As we lengthen through our lats, we can feel our the dumbbell lift up over our chest, and right about here, while it's still in our vision, we can feel the need for our rib cage, the desire for our rib cage to expand and maybe our back to arch. And that's what you're working against. You don't want that to happen, okay? So we're gonna use our breath and fight against that desire for our rib cage to expand and our back to arch, okay? We're gonna exhale and sink very deeply into our low belly through that so we don't arch our back, essentially. Okay, you ready? All right, so exhale, drag the dumbbell down, grab a breath. Exhale as it comes back over your eyesight, over your head, and exhale to drag it back down again. Okay, you got it? So your belly shouldn't be poofing out. Use your breath to sink very deeply into your belly, and try not to control the weight from your hands. You're controlling it from your lats. Then if you find a tipping point where through fatigue or just whatever, that you feel your back beginning to arch, and maybe it's because your low belly is tired, maybe because you don't have a long end range of motion yet, any of those are fine. Just stop what you're doing. Don't send that weight any further behind your head. What we're trying to do is teach our body to hold that weight in our core. Good, that's 10 for me. Okay, I've got 10 more. Good. Five more. Belly is sinking, rib cage is zipping. Excellent, two more. Good work. Okay, now we can set this dumbbell off to the side. Okay. However, I do have a lighter dumbbell that we're going to come back to. So now we're going to do side lying work. Okay, so we're going to start with our good side lying position. Okay, so we want to keep, first of all, we have 2 points of contact with the mat. Not our traditional, which is 4 points, we have 2 points. So we have this broader challenge of staying in parallel. Shoulders parallel, hips parallel, okay? And we're on our sides, which means not only are we using our low belly to preserve our lumbar, but we have to use our obliques and lats to preserve this parallel. Okay, now you'll notice because my shoulder is tucked under, I have to support the weight of my head with the muscles in my neck. If that's not comfortable for you, you can curl your arm up here, or you can use a yoga block or a pillow. That's entirely up to you. But make sure you support your head into a neutral position. You shouldn't be craning, okay? All right, so here we are in our neutral. I like to elevate this top arm to help give me awareness of my parallel, right? If I'm tilting, I might not notice it if my arm's at my side. So that's what I'm doing, not just looking goofy. Okay, now here, right away, I'm thinking inhale into the chest and exhaling, low belly is contracting and sinking back toward my spine. Inhaling and exhaling. And now I'm going to begin my work. And I'm going to stay with a single plane of movement, which will be comfortable and not jeopardize my plane, you know, my balance, my parallel. I'm going to contract through my oblique and glute and draw my top leg up. So that's my left leg. Exhale. And slowly lower. Now imagine as you exhale, you're drawing that leg up like a trapdoor attached to your oblique. All your movements being generated from the contraction in your core. Exhale. Good. And as you reach that top, that isometric hold, think about holding the weight of that leg in your oblique. Good. Okay, we're going to lower it all the way down with control. You can give yourself a little rest. Now we're going to begin experimenting with working outside that single plane. So we'll float that leg up off and we'll contract through the hamstring and draw our heel toward our butt. Okay, just as a little bit of warm up, I want you to think about that contraction through your hamstring. Okay, so you ready? Exhale, float that leg up and then contract, draw the heel to your butt and extend. So still working through your breath, okay? So inhaling into the chest, exhaling, low belly and oblique, and hamstring. Now this level is not very, very challenging, right? We're just getting a little warm up. You're probably able to maintain your balance pretty well. But now we're gonna add in more, okay? Instead of just drawing our heel back to our butt as we straighten our leg, then we're gonna exhale and stabilize through our oblique and then draw that leg straight toward the front and back. Heel to butt, straighten, exhale. Good. So in that position where you're drawing your leg to the front, you're working through the hip, but your hip wants to wiggle. Don't let it wiggle. Exhale, stabilize with that top oblique. Exhale. Good. I'm going to lower my leg with control, give my head a little rest. Now, your range of motion on that drawing the leg to the front should be limited by your flexibility, right? So don't endeavor to get your toe all the way in front of your hip or your belly button just because someone else can do it, right? Because if you do that, you're probably buckling your body in some fashion. And that's what we want to resist against doing, right? We want to make that movement happen, allow that movement to happen, strengthen that movement, but only within your range, okay? All right, now our last element that we're gonna do in that is, so we're getting back to our place of work, okay? All right, now we're gonna exhale and raise that leg, hold the weight of our leg in our oblique, and now we're gonna draw tiny little circles with our heel. Now these circles obviously are going through multiple planes, forward, back, up, down, forward, back, up, down. But we want to still stay stable, so exhale. Good. Once that hip is on fire, change directions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, lower that leg with control. Bend the knee, draw in toward the chest, lower the head, allow yourself to stretch through that glute just a little bit. Now, we are not quite ready to move over, okay? We have one more element that's gonna involve shoulder work, okay? All right, so once you start feeling some relief in that glute, let's go ahead and restack, and we're back into our parallel. So my spine is nice and neutral. My legs are a little bit in front, kind of like a check mark. I'm going to reach for my lightest dumbbell that I have, okay? So, and I have it in my top arm. Okay, now, here we go. I'm gonna fold my bottom arm over my oblique so it's out of the way. Now, if we go back to this position with our dumbbell, it's up over our armpits as we're finding our parallel shoulders, and we're great, right? Okay, what we're gonna do with this very light dumbbell, we're gonna exhale, trying to maintain this parallel, and lower the arm. And then return. So this is a lot of lat, oblique, and deltoid work. So this weight is moving away from our center of gravity, heavy belly, and return. Okay, exhale into your transverse, oblique, and lat, and return. Good. So that weight should be heavy enough to feel that tension, just like in our dumbbell pull-throughs, but not too heavy that you're gonna face plant into the mat or that you're gonna hurt your shoulder. Good. Exhale. Our isometric hold is holding that dumbbell out in front of our chest before it hits the ground. Good. 2 more. Exhale. Last one. And exhale. Excellent. Okay, lower that dumbbell with control, and now we'll switch sides. Okay, so now I know I need that dumbbell close, so I'm gonna keep it somewhat close. And I'm flipped over onto my left. Okay, so making sure that my shoulder isn't tucked into my ear. My arm is extended. My hips are in parallel. My spine is in a neutral position, and my legs are extended just a little bit in front of me, but they're pretty straight, okay? My right arm is reaching for the ceiling. I'm not getting up into my neck, so I've found my nice parallel. All right, so we're starting with our oblique and glute warm-up, right? So before I begin, I'm finding my breath. Inhaling through my nose into my chest, and exhaling pelvic floor, transverse rib cage. Okay, feel that tightening of the low belly. Once you stabilize your core, stabilized your method of work, then with our next exhale, oblique contracts, glute contracts to lift that leg up and back down. Good. And that leg is floating. And you're holding the weight of the leg in your oblique. But your parallel is steady because we're working in that same plane. Nice and slow, contract, open the trapdoor, slowly lower. Good, 2 more. 1 and 2. Excellent. Okay, now we'll float that leg up and start with our hamstring warm-up. Okay, ready? Inhale through the chest. Exhale, float the leg. Grab an inhale again. And exhale, contract hamstring to draw the heel to the butt and extend. Heel and point. So you can do that, flex and point if you like. Flex, heel to butt, point the toe to extend. Flex and point. Flex and point. Okay, now we're gonna draw that leg all the way through. Point, exhale, exhale, exhale. Flex, exhale, oblique. Support that hip. Good, stay with your range of motion. Heel to butt, straighten and toe, arm, leg is straight all the way through. As far as your hamstring flexibility will allow you. But deep belly breathing and oblique contraction. Last one. Good, okay, float the leg down. Give yourself a tiny breather. We'll give ourselves about 10 seconds and then we'll do our golf ball size circles. Okay, you ready? All right, float the head up, float the leg up. Inhale through the chest and exhale. Now this is the real challenge to maintaining your parallel. And you're working through low belly, oblique, all of it, rib cage. 6, 7, and 8. Change directions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Lower that leg with control. Draw the knee forward in towards your chest. Lower your head. And you can open up if you want, rotating, lower, opening your chest to the ceiling. Lengthen through that glute. We'll take about 10 more seconds. Okay, draw your legs back together. All right, now we're going to the shoulder work on this side, okay? So find that dumbbell close. All right, so I'm gonna wrap my bottom arm around my waist. So it's tucked into my ribs and around my waist, but I'm still in parallel, okay? My spine is still in neutral, my legs are still extended. I'm gonna grab this dumbbell, hold it close, and press it up over my armpit. All right, now, I'm gonna exhale and stabilize my core in this parallel as the dumbbell drops down to the ground. Exhale, and return. So you're lengthening through the deltoid and returning back up. Everything else stays still, including your shoulder blade as you're able. Tight obliques. Let's go 3 more. Exhale, low belly rib cage. 1, 2, and 3. Good. Lower that dumbbell with control. Roll over onto your back for just a minute. I don't plan on ending here on our back. I just want to give you a second to collect yourself. That was a lot of work. All right, if you're feeling it in your glutes, particularly your obliques, all right? And a little bit with your shoulders. Okay, now the work that we're gonna revisit today, we haven't done in a while, which is revisiting our plank position, okay? I know it's everyone's favorite, plank. Okay, so I'm gonna roll over back onto my side and I'm gonna plant my hands under my shoulders and press myself up into tabletop. Okay, now, plank. The plank that we teach in Pilates might be different than what you know in other disciplines, okay? In Pilates, we want your wrists to line up underneath your armpits. And I love starting with tabletop because it's a good mechanism to get into a safe plank, okay? Although it does, in this case, require you to be on your wrists, okay? Now, what our focal point here is, I use this imagery of a car garage, if you remember. So my arms are under, my wrists are under my shoulders, my fingers are spread out, my knees are under my hips. I want to feel that lat to hip engagement right away. So my obliques are on fire as well as my lats. As I extend one leg straight back to put my toes into the mat, I know that side is going to be a little bit more active, okay? And I want it to be active, so I exhale into it, all right? So that's my left leg. Now I'm gonna exhale into my right side as my right leg extends. Now the goal is you have a nice straight parallel line from shoulders, hips, all the way down. So that when you draw your knees back in as you exhale and exhale, your hips haven't traveled. They haven't sunk down toward the ground and they haven't raised toward the ceiling. That's our goal, okay? We're trying that again, okay? Parking the garage, ready? Exhale, extend the left leg. Exhale, extend the right leg. Good, so we're gonna pause for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now repark the car. One knee, exhale, and the other. Now, remember, as you start parking those knees back in the garage under your tabletop, you have to support that torso differently. All right, so make sure that you're accommodating in your lats obliques to do that work. And low belly. What stops your hips from falling is a strong transverse. All right, so as you exhale, the transverse isn't sinking to your spine, it's lifting toward your spine. Okay, all right, shake those wrists out if you need to. We're gonna try another one, okay? And we're gonna try and hold it for 10 seconds. Now, you at home, if this is too easy, go for 20 if you like, okay? One more element I just want to touch on is broad across your shoulder blades. Don't let your chest sink, okay? We're not doing cow here. We're nice and broad, like a plank. We aren't going to be warped wood. Okay, ready? Inhale through the nose, into the chest. Exhale, extend one leg, strong lat to oblique on that side. And then the other. Okay, excellent. All right, now, as we're here for 10 or 20 seconds, we're thinking all of my strength in this, not all, but I'm very strong in my transverse and my lats to obliques. I'm not carrying a ton of tension in my legs because my legs from hip to feet can kind of respond on their own, but I know I need to actively respond in my torso to support my spine. Okay, you ready? Let's park the car. Exhale, one knee, and exhale, other knee. All right, excellent. Sit back. Let's shake those wrists out. All right, Now, I don't know if that's new for you in plank. If it is, reach out to me if you have questions. If it's not, I hope it's going well. Okay, let's make our way onto our back. Actually, we'll go onto our sides here. And since we're here onto the mat, we'll go ahead and stretch our quads a little bit and our hip flexors. So we're back into our side lying position with our shoulders stacked properly. I'm on my right side, my left hand is free, and it's gonna reach up and grab my left ankle. Okay, then I wanna bring my legs back into parallel and draw my heel toward my fanny. Okay, I'm not bending through my torso. My torso remains neutral. I can apply some energy into my knee, extending away from my torso. So you can light up your hip flexors that way. And then as you like, you can draw your knee back away from your parallel to get even more into your hip flexors. Excellent. Okay, return, slowly release that ankle and set the leg back down. This is a great stretch to do in the morning or at night in bed. We tend to lose flexibility in our quads as we lose our knee health. So I encourage you to do this as often as you're able. So now I'm on my left side and I'm reaching up with my right hand to grasp my right ankle or the top of my foot, as it were. All right, draw my legs in parallel. Deactivate your hamstrings. Let them go. And allow your quads to soften. And now start drawing your knee back and away, opening up your hip flexors. Good. And then return and release, and the legs go down. Okay, let's roll over onto our back. Okay, now we're gonna do our little rotation, our low back rotational stretch. So I've drawn my knees up toward my chest, and I'm gonna extend my palms out into an X and allow my legs to fall over to the left of me, okay? And I'm gonna take my left hand, place it down on my right knee, and gaze over to my right, away from you. My palm is up, and I'm taking my gaze in this opposite direction, trying to get my shoulder blade down onto the mat. And I'm releasing through my low back, through my glutes. Good. All right, now release. Draw your knees back to your chest, and we'll allow them to fall to the right side of you. Okay, nice and slow. And take that right hand and place it on top of your left knee. And take your gaze over to your left palm, which is teed out away from you. Relax, melt that left shoulder blade into the ground. Good, and you can play with the position of your arm. If it's all the way down toward your hip, you can start sliding it gently as you're able up toward a T position. If you're comfortable in a T, you can let it float up into Y as you're able. Excellent. Now release the leg. Draw yourself back to center. And roll over onto whatever side is most comfortable for you to press your way back into a seated position. Okay. Thank you for joining me today, guys. It's Tuesday. I look forward to seeing all of you on Thursday. Thank you for a great class. Have a good couple of days. Take care of yourselves. Bye.